In the competitive landscape of web development, preparing for interviews is essential for success. This video will guide you through the top 25 interview questions that every web developer should be ready to tackle. Alongside each question, you will find clear and concise answers, helping you build confidence and knowledge. Whether you are a seasoned developer or just starting out, this resource is designed to enhance your interview skills. 1. What programming languages and frameworks are you most proficient in? I am proficient in JavaScript, particularly with frameworks such as React and Angular. Additionally, I have experience with backend technologies like Node.js and Express. I also work with Python, utilizing frameworks like Django for web applications. My expertise extends to HTML and CSS, enabling me to create responsive designs. I am familiar with version control systems like Git, which enhances collaboration and project management. My continuous learning approach ensures I stay updated with evolving technologies and best practices in web development. 2. Explain the difference between server-side and client-side rendering. Server-side rendering, SSR, occurs when the server generates the HTML for a web page and sends it to the browser, which displays the content. In contrast, client-side rendering, CSR, involves sending a minimal HTML document to the browser, which then uses JavaScript to fetch data and render the content dynamically. SSR can improve initial load times in SEO because search engines receive fully rendered content. CSR offers a more interactive experience after the initial load, as it allows for faster updates without reloading the page. Each approach has its benefits and is chosen based on project requirements. 3. How do you ensure cross-browser compatibility in your web applications? Ensuring cross-browser compatibility involves several key practices. First, I use feature detection libraries like Modernizer to identify browser capabilities and implement fallbacks for unsupported features. I also utilize CSS resets or normalizers to reduce rendering differences across browsers. Testing is essential. I regularly test my applications on multiple browsers and devices, using tools like Browser Stack or cross-browser testing environments. I adhere to web standards and best practices, such as semantic HTML and responsive design, to enhance compatibility. Finally, I keep up with browser updates and adjust my code as necessary. 4. What strategies do you use for optimizing website performance? When optimizing website performance, I focus on several key strategies. First, I minimize HTTP requests by combining files and using CSS sprites. Second, I leverage browser caching to store static assets, reducing load times for returning users. Third, I optimize images by compressing them without sacrificing quality. I also prioritize asynchronous loading for JavaScript and CSS files to enhance rendering speed. Additionally, I utilize content delivery networks, CDNs, to serve content closer to users, further improving load times. Tools like Lighthouse help me analyze performance and identify areas for improvement. 5. Describe your experience with responsive web design. Responsive web design has become a key aspect of my development process. I utilize flexible grid layouts and fluid images, ensuring that designs adapt seamlessly across various screen sizes. I prioritize mobile-first design, creating a solid foundation for smaller devices before scaling up. Media queries play a crucial role, enabling me to apply different styles based on screen characteristics. I've worked with frameworks like Bootstrap and Tailwind CSS, which simplify the implementation of responsive features. Testing on multiple devices and browsers ensures consistent user experiences, enhancing accessibility and engagement. 6. How do you handle browser caching and what are its benefits? Browser caching is managed through HTTP headers like cache control, expires, and etag. These directives inform the browser how long to store resources locally. Implementing caching improves website performance by reducing load times and server requests, allowing users to access previously visited pages faster. When a user revisits a site, cached resources are retrieved from their local storage instead of being fetched from the server. This not only enhances user experience but also decreases bandwidth usage and server load, resulting in more efficient resource utilization. 7. Explain the concept of REST-full APIs and how you've implemented them. REST-full APIs, representational state transfer APIs, are architectural styles that use standard HTTP methods for communication between client and server. They emphasize stateless interactions, meaning each request from the client must contain all the information needed for the server to fulfill it. In my previous projects, I implemented REST-full APIs using Node.js with Express. I designed endpoints for CRUD operations, ensuring they followed proper HTTP status codes. For instance, I used GET for retrieving resources, POST for creating new entries, PUT for updating, and DELETE for removing resources. This approach allows for scalable and maintainable applications while ensuring clear communication between the front end and back end. 8. What is CORS and how does it work? CORS, or cross-origin resource sharing, is a security feature implemented in web browsers that allows or restricts web applications running at one origin from interacting with resources from another origin. It works by using HTTP headers to inform the browser whether to permit cross-origin requests. When a web application makes a request to a different domain, the browser sends an options request first, checking if the target server allows such interactions. If the server responds with appropriate CORS headers, the actual request is made, otherwise, it is blocked. This mechanism helps protect against malicious activities like cross-site request forgery, CSRF. 9. Walk me through your typical workflow when starting a new web project. When starting a new web project, I begin with gathering requirements through discussions with stakeholders to understand their needs. Next, I create a project plan outlining the scope, timeline, and resources. I then move on to wireframing and designing the UI, UX to ensure a user-friendly experience. After that, I set up the development environment, selecting the appropriate technologies and frameworks. Once development starts, I implement features iteratively, frequently testing for bugs and ensuring quality. Finally, I prepare for deployment, ensuring documentation is complete and the project is ready for launch. 10. How do you approach debugging complex issues in your code? Debugging complex issues requires a systematic approach. First, I reproduce the issue consistently, which helps in understanding the context. Then, I analyze error messages and logs for clues. Utilizing debugging tools, I set breakpoints to inspect variables and flow control. I may also add logs for additional insights. Collaborating with peers can offer new perspectives, while reviewing recent code changes often reveals the cause. Once identified, I implement a fix and thoroughly test to ensure the issue is resolved without introducing new problems. This methodical process enhances code quality and reliability. 11. Describe a challenging technical problem you faced and how you solved it. One challenging problem I encountered involved a web application that experienced significant performance issues during peak traffic times. Users reported slow loading times and unresponsive interactions. To address this, I conducted a thorough analysis using profiling tools to identify bottlenecks. I discovered that inefficient database queries were a major contributor. I optimized these queries, implemented caching strategies, and utilized a content delivery network, CDN, to serve static assets. These changes resulted in improved load times and a more seamless user experience, ultimately enhancing the application's performance significantly. 12. How do you stay updated with the latest web development trends and technologies? Staying updated with the latest web development trends and technologies involves several strategies. I regularly follow reputable blogs, podcasts, and newsletters dedicated to web development, such as Smashing Magazine and CSS Tricks. Participating in online communities, like Stack Overflow and GitHub, helps me engage with other developers and learn from their experiences. Attending workshops, webinars, and conferences allows me to gain insights into emerging tools and techniques. Lastly, I dedicate time each week to experiment with new technologies through personal projects or contributions to open-source initiatives. 13. What version control systems have you used, and how do you utilize them in your workflow? I have experience with Git and Subversion, SVN, as version control systems. In my workflow, I use Git for most projects due to its distributed nature, allowing for better collaboration among team members. I create branches for new features or bug fixes, which helps isolate changes until they are ready for review. I also utilize pull requests for code reviews, ensuring quality and adherence to project standards. Additionally, I frequently commit changes with clear messages, making it easier to track the project's history and revert to previous versions if necessary. 14. How do you ensure the security of web applications you develop? To ensure the security of web applications, I implement several best practices. First, I conduct regular security audits and vulnerability assessments using tools like OWASP. Input validation is crucial. I sanitize and validate all user inputs to prevent XSS and SQL injection attacks. Utilizing HTTPS for secure communication is essential. I also implement proper authentication and authorization mechanisms, employing techniques like JWT for session management. Regularly updating dependencies and libraries helps mitigate risks from known vulnerabilities. Additionally, I educate team members about security awareness and best practices. 15. How do you collaborate with designers and back-end developers in your projects? Collaboration with designers and back-end developers is essential for successful project delivery. I typically start by participating in joint planning sessions where we discuss project requirements and establish a shared vision. Throughout the development process, I utilize tools like Figma for design handoff and Git for version control, ensuring everyone is aligned. Regular stand-up meetings facilitate communication and address any challenges promptly. I also prioritize feedback loops, allowing designers to review front-end implementations while back-end developers ensure API integrations work seamlessly, fostering a cohesive workflow. 16. Describe your experience working in an agile development environment. I have had extensive experience working in agile development environments, primarily using Scrum as the framework. I participated in daily stand-ups, sprint planning, and retrospectives, which fostered open communication and collaboration among team members. My role often involved breaking down user stories into manageable tasks and prioritizing them based on stakeholder feedback. This iterative approach allowed for rapid adjustments to project requirements, ensuring that we delivered high-quality features that met user needs. Additionally, I appreciated the emphasis on continuous improvement and adaptability that Agile promotes. 17. How do you handle disagreements with team members about technical decisions? When disagreements arise regarding technical decisions, I prioritize open communication and understanding. I encourage team members to express their viewpoints, ensuring everyone feels heard. I often suggest a collaborative approach where we can analyze each perspective based on project requirements and goals. If necessary, I advocate for a trial implementation to test the feasibility of differing ideas. Ultimately, the focus should be on what serves the project best, fostering a culture of respect and collective problem-solving. This approach strengthens team dynamics and leads to better decision-making. 18. What strategies do you use to communicate technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders? Communicating technical concepts effectively requires clarity and empathy. I focus on simplifying jargon into relatable terms, using analogies that resonate with the audience's experience. Visual aids, such as diagrams and flowcharts, help illustrate complex ideas. I also encourage questions to ensure understanding and adjust my explanations based on feedback. Tailoring my approach to the specific stakeholder's background enhances engagement. Regular check-ins foster a collaborative environment, ensuring that everyone feels included in the discussion and decision-making process. This approach builds trust and promotes a shared vision. 19. Explain the concept of closures in JavaScript and provide an example. A closure in JavaScript is a feature where an inner function has access to the outer function's variables. This allows the inner function to remember the environment in which it was created, even after the outer function has finished executing. For example, function outer function, let outer variable equals, I am from the outer function. Function inner function, console.log, outer variable, return inner function, const inner equals outer function, inner, output. I am from the outer function. In this example, inner function retains access to outer variable due to the closure created by outer function. This capability is useful for data encapsulation and maintaining state in JavaScript applications. 20. What are the key differences between HTTP 1.1 and HTTP 2? HTTP 1.1 uses a textual format for communication, while HTTP 2 employs a binary format, which enhances efficiency. One significant difference is multiplexing in HTTP 2, allowing multiple requests and responses to be sent simultaneously over a single connection, reducing latency. Additionally, HTTP 2 uses header compression, which minimizes the overhead associated with header size in requests. Server push is another feature unique to HTTP 2, enabling servers to send resources proactively, improving load times for clients. These enhancements lead to faster and more efficient web applications. 21. How do you implement accessibility features in your web applications? Accessibility features are implemented by following the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, WCAG, to ensure that all users, including those with disabilities, can access and interact with web applications. Techniques include using semantic HTML elements, providing alternative text for images, ensuring sufficient color contrast, and enabling keyboard navigation. Implementing ARIA, accessible rich internet applications, roles and attributes enhances accessibility for assistive technologies. Regular usability testing with diverse user groups helps identify areas for improvement, ensuring an inclusive experience for everyone. 22. Describe your experience with containerization technologies like Docker. Containerization technologies like Docker have significantly impacted my development workflow. I utilize Docker to create isolated environments for my applications, which ensures consistency across different development stages. By using Docker Compose, I can efficiently manage multi-container applications, making it easier to develop and deploy microservices. My experience includes creating Docker files, optimizing images, and integrating Docker with CI/CD pipelines. This approach not only simplifies dependency management but also enhances collaboration with team members by providing a standardized environment. 23. What is your approach to writing unit tests for your code? Writing unit tests involves several key steps. First, I identify the functionality or components that require testing. Then, I use a testing framework like Jest or Mocha to create test cases that cover various scenarios, including edge cases. Each test should be independent, ensuring that it verifies a specific behavior of the code. I aim for high coverage but prioritize meaningful tests that validate critical paths. Continuous integration tools automatically run these tests, allowing me to catch regressions early. Regularly reviewing and refactoring tests keeps them relevant and effective. 24. What do you consider your biggest strength as a web developer? My biggest strength as a web developer is my ability to adapt quickly to new technologies and frameworks. This flexibility allows me to choose the right tools for each project, ensuring efficient and effective solutions. I thrive in collaborative environments, where I can leverage my communication skills to bridge the gap between technical and non-technical team members. My attention to detail ensures that I produce high-quality code and user-friendly interfaces. Lastly, my passion for continuous learning keeps me motivated to stay updated with industry trends and best practices. 25. Where do you see yourself professionally in the next 3 to 5 years? In the next 3 to 5 years, I envision myself advancing to a senior web developer role, leading projects that focus on innovative solutions and cutting-edge technologies. I aim to deepen my expertise in areas such as cloud computing and AI integration within web applications. Additionally, I see myself mentoring junior developers, sharing knowledge, and contributing to a collaborative team environment. My goal is to work on projects that not only challenge me but also have a positive impact on users and the community. As you prepare for your web developer interviews, mastering these top 25 questions will boost your confidence and enhance your chances of success. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting, understanding the key concepts and demonstrating your knowledge can set you apart from other candidates. Keep practicing, stay updated with industry trends, and don't hesitate to showcase your unique skills. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe for more valuable content. Your support helps us continue to provide resources for aspiring web developers.